Dr. Mike, we are live. How are you today, buddy?
Good. What's going on?
Nothing. So it's always fun to find something interesting to talk about today, and we're going to do another review of an 8-minute video that one of our mentors, a person that you've done a lot of coaching with, Kresser, just posted early, I think last night, and it's called "Nutrition for Post-Viral Syndrome Recovery."
Yeah. So you picked this up. Let me know. Take us from here and let's see what Chris had to say.
Yeah, sure. So we'll put the link to the video in our emails that we send out later. It was interesting when I first saw the post. Before I watched the video, I was thinking immediately, okay, that's cool. He's going to share with us some supplements to take to help you recover from any kind of viral infection, whether it's COVID-19 or whether it's just a normal cold or whether it's the flu. And it wasn't. It was all about food and food choices and whole food nutrition, which was the first thing that really struck me about the video.
Yeah, and Chris has always been about ancestral eating. Um, as we as a society have moved away from eating ancestrally to the processed foods that people are eating today, we're getting sicker and sicker. And then with the last 2 years, we see where people who have a standard American diet that is probably 85% processed have been dramatically impacted by that. So it was really good to listen to him. And when he started talking about whole foods, and as opposed to just, we have a tendency to try and get to the bottom and give me a pill in our society. So it's really nice to see some of the stuff that he's put out there today.
Yeah, so the first thing he talked about, this is the only broad topic, is he just said a nutrient dense diet. And he preaches that. And, Mike, that's nutrient dense diet is wild caught fish, pasture raised meats, eggs, fruits and vegetables. Did I miss anything?
You got it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's real food, number one, and it's dense. It's filling. It's loaded with nutrients. Some of the things I don't care for, but there are many things that I do.
And then he goes down and fine tunes it a little bit, and I think he lists 5 kind of little bit broader topics. The first one is organ meats, and whether you like them or not, and I know, Mike, you do not care for them.
Right.
You've heard this before. Organ meats, particularly kidney, is nature's multivitamin. By far the most nutrient dense foods on the planet.
Yeah, kidney and liver, like just no, thank you. I'm sorry.
Here's the good news, Mike. 2 things. One, there are a multitude of very good companies that are making desiccated or dried pasture raised liver that you could take that are these organs in combination: brain, kidney, liver, spleen, and they're tasteless because you just swallow them. So there are other options than just eating them. If you choose to eat them, one of the easiest ways, and this is what I've been actually doing, and Hayden has adopted this, is I get pasture raised liver, I chop it up, I freeze it in little bags and put little bags into the refrigerator, and he eats a little bit of liver every single day. So if you're wondering how you could eat liver without making a big deal out of it, that is the easiest way to do it, other than the desiccated pills.
Well, you're more mature than me. But absolutely, liver is a absolute powerhouse. And when we look at ancestral eating, the beliefs were when you were to eat, they ate snout to tail, nose to tail. But when you look at the organs, they looked at it as replenishing that organ within yourself. So it's pretty interesting. Heart and liver. They'd eat the eyes. They'd eat it all. So it's really interesting, the background story on that.
Yep, yep. The next category you talked about is interesting because it's in its own kingdom, and sometimes we don't always think of it that way. But they're mushrooms, and they're edible / in some cases medicinal mushrooms like chaga, reishi, lion's mane, turkey tail. Those are available. They're a little hard to find. In the whole form, again, there are a great multitude of companies, with Kresser being one of them, that have mushroom complexes that you can eat on a regular basis. And we know through special sugars that most mushrooms have, or medicinal mushrooms called beta glucans, they dramatically boost your immune system.
Absolutely. You foraged for mushrooms, haven't you, or come across them in your hiking and wandering?
Yeah, the few that I've found over the years is chaga.
Chaga.
I found, and I processed it. We have found reishi, turkey tail, and maitake. I have yet to come across lion's mane, but the great thing about lion's mane is if you it is very, very edible. Now chaga and reishi are not really edible; they're wood mushrooms, but lion's mane is. So if you happen to come across the lion's mane, go for it. But as always, I have to say, if you don't know much about mushrooms, stick with the pills because they can kill you.
Well, that was my other point on that. And there's apps on your phone now that you can take a picture of it,
Yes.
and it's like 99.99% accuracy.
Yes, there absolutely is. I was a friend of mine had one recently. I meant to download it and I didn't, but there are a multitude of them. Some you pay for, some you don't. I've had a couple on my phone in the past and removed them. But yeah, that's a great way. I joke with my dad and my brother. There's like the safe 5 and the safe 7, and don't mess around with mushrooms unless you know what you're doing. I'm trying to grow mushrooms at home. I'll let you guys know how that goes. That might take another year or so, but I am attempting to do that. Not in my house, outside, which is slightly more challenging.
And just one more shout out to Four Sigmatic, which is a product that you and I have used for years, going back to our Beyond Your Wildest Dreams days. A tremendous coffee replacement. Really, really tasty as well.
Yep. I agree. That's these medicinal mushrooms are bitter, so when you combine them with coffee, it kind of negates it because coffee is bitter, and it's great. One of our favorite patients, Maureen Fonte, uses Four Sigmatic just about every day.
And
next,
we have Maureen's okay to bring her.
Yeah, absolutely, always. Next category is bone broth. Most people are aware of bone broth. You can make it. You could buy it. We like the Kettle and Fire brand is probably the best brand to buy. But really simple. You're taking bones, you're boiling them for a long period of time, and consuming that. Whether it's in soups, whether you're combining it with rice, but it is very, very healing to the gut. It's got lots of collagen in it. It's just a superfood that's been consumed for millennia.
Have you done bone? It's so easy now with it. It's not like it was 10 years ago, where you went to the butcher and you got the bones. I mean, you can do it. It's easy and it's relatively cheap, but the availability today is insane. Have you done your own bone broth in the Instapot or no?
I have, and it only takes 45 minutes, baby. And I'm sure, and I don't know if your wife does it that way, but yeah, it's 45 minutes.
Yeah, we opt for Kettle and Fire. It's just ridiculously easy.
Yeah, but you're right. But the Instapot has made it a little bit more tolerable in terms of not having to boil something overnight in your crock pot for like 8 to 12 to 20 hours. You could do it in 45 minutes, and it works pretty darn good.
Sweet.
Next one is, we've talked about these before in the past too, is garlic and ginger.
These guys are powerhouses. It's funny. I have an affinity for ginger. Always have. Garlic is the same thing. Garlic is by far one of the top immunoprotective herbs in the world. It's in all cultures. It's in all foods. It is absolutely amazing, and I am sure it is off the chart if you could get wild garlic. That being said, it doesn't matter. Garlic is just hands down huge. Ginger is a tremendous, in addition to being immunoprotective, it is amazing for nausea. I believe it is antibacterial, antifungal as well,
Anti-inflammatory.
anti-inflammatory as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the wild garlic. You know, there's two types of garlic basically. There's soft neck garlic, which we see most of the time in the store, and then there's hard neck garlic, which you get at the farmers markets, which I like better if you can get them. And a lot of times, when you find the hard neck garlic, what accompanies that is what's called, oh my God, I forgot the name of it now. Scapes are these long green things that shoot up
Yes.
from the hard neck garlic that you can consume as well, and they're very, very nutritious. But they're out for like a window of like 3 weeks to a month at your farmer's market. But it's something to look forward to and look for in the summer times for sure.
Awesome.
Final one is something that my wife consumes a lot of, and that's green tea. Particularly, she likes matcha, which is basically the highest form of green tea.
Green tea is tremendous. Green tea is also very good if you want to lose weight. Green tea does have a little tiny bit of caffeine, correct?
Yeah.
It's very, very minimal, but it does have a little caffeine for those that are caffeine sensitive. But unbelievable. It is one of the teas that I was drinking after COVID back in 2020. It is really a immuno booster for sure.
You know, Mike, I feel a little bit silly about this, and because I didn't write it down, but it was in the article or the video, and when I say the last thing that I forgot to talk about, you'll laugh. Raw honey is the last and final piece to the nutrient foods that help with post-viral recovery.
Honey in the raw form, not what you buy in the store, but at the farmer's market. Noah's dad has his own. Would you say that's an apiary? What is that?
I mean, I don't know.
He's a beekeeper.
Exactly. He's a beekeeper. He's definitely he's an apiarist or a beekeeper, and we fluctuate between 4 to 6 hives in 3 locations.
And it goes back millennia. They have found honey in the tombs of pharaohs. It has been used for thousands of years medicinally. There is so much. I mean, we could literally do, and Noah has done a whole day on honey and bee products in general. But amazing product.
Yep. So that's a little summary of Dr. Chris Kresser's YouTube post. We'll put it in there.
Yep.
Something to think about. Some of you might be suffering obvious from post COVID or long haul syndrome. Just something to think about to regulate what you're eating to help you recover from those symptoms.
Absolutely. All right.
We're open. See you guys later.
Bye, guys.